Well, yo, welcome to Headkrack After Hours. Is a dude whose name has been ringing bells in hip-hop for quite some time, man. He like a shark's fin going under the water. He went down to kind of like, hibernate, get it back together, and he's back in kill mode. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, brother Tito Lopez is in the building.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate your Headkrack.
Yo,
Likewise.
fam.
Peace,
there
God.
was a period in time.
Yeah.
Let's go back to, I guess, like maybe 2010 through
2013 or something like that.
Yo, I could not turn on Sirius Satellite Radio without hearing the Tito Lopez joint at some point during the day.
No doubt.
All the cosigns were there. And then, I don't know, it seems like you went into like hibernation, but where have you been for the last 10 years?
Yeah, man, just living my life, man, and enjoying it. You know what I mean? I never can stop loving music. I'm made out of music. The music business you don't have to adhere to if you don't want to. You know what I mean? Industry is industry. So the music industry, there's a toilet paper industry, a toothpaste industry. You know what I mean? It's about commercializing and going on to the next thing. So I just didn't really vibe with that. And I knew for a fact, blessed to have the OGs I had, David Banner, Organized Noise, Sleepy Brown, Rico Wade, everybody, like, they let me know you can just be writing and still get a check, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that it's about a check, but I just been trying to be on the background, you know what I'm saying? Ghost writing for a few dudes, writing hooks, writing all that. So I figured like everybody else, there's a million jobs in this besides just being the main rapper in the front. And, I never prepared for nothing except to be a dope MC, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that would get me somewhere, so I did a few things I was supposed to do, and I always was going to put my face back out there, but just been in the background.
Well, first and foremost, welcome back.
Appreciate you, brother.
You shared some links to me on the SoundCloud side of things that were like, yo, brother still got it.
Yes, sir.
The knives are still sharp.
Appreciate it.
And, and it's one of those things where, like, people always have this fantasy look at the business.
Yes,
From the outside looking in, it's like, oh, it's this, it's that. You gonna get all this. As soon as you sign on the dotted line, they're gonna bring the literal bags of money to you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work that goes into that, and then it almost, for some people, stops being fun.
Absolutely.
Once it turns into a business.
Yeah.
So what was it that you saw within the business that made you realize that, whoa, this wasn't what I thought it was coming into it?
You speaking my language. I always prepared for it to not be fun. You know what I mean? But I always called that puberty sort of like thing. You got to grow up. And I always figured like your dream, NBA, NFL, and if you want to start making money and make it a business, the fun, sooner or later, just for fun, got to go somewhere. You want to keep it. So that was something you had to hold. And just the tactics, you know what I mean? Personally, I just got to keep it 1,000. If I want to speak freely on an album, that was stifled. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to do this on an album, that was stifled. It was very Hollywood, the label I was on. Nothing against some Capitol Records. That's Hollywood and Vine. That's Beatles. That's MC Hammer. That's my dog, MC Hammer. Salute to him, too. But I signed over there just knowing that it was going to be kind of Hollywood, the biggest you could get as far as the evils or the not evils, you know what I mean, whatever's around. So I just wanted to see how it would go, and it went exactly how I thought, you know what I'm saying? And there's always a lane and a purpose for spitters in this rap game, but I found that most of the lane for it is, kind of the old boats when they used to have the coal workers, the slaves at the bottom, just throwing it into the furnace, you know what I mean? We're going to make this thing run, and we're going to ghostwrite it, we're going to get bars, and we're going to keep everything sharp, but we may not get the most respect or the most appreciation. Forget the fans and everybody else. I'm talking about the people who you're doing it for, you know what I mean, who could still be chumping you off like, hey, write me this or hook me up with this, but you ain't getting no respect and all that. I can't deal with that, you know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I think, when you rhyme and write at a high level, you deserve the flowers,
exactly.
And it's crazy that you mentioned how, like, a lot of high-shelf spitters, you may not necessarily hear them on every radio station, or they may not be the most talked about, celebrated, but quietly,
that's it.
The mailbox money coming
That's
in.
it. Respect, my brother. Shout out to Nip, you know what I'm saying? Not to cut you off, but you said mailbox money, it made me think about my brother, you know what I'm saying? I had a joint with Nip called What It Feels Like, you know what I'm saying? I came up with that off my album, Salute to Mike and Keys, you know what I'm saying? That was a verse or a start of a verse that I had did on my album that never came out. So, naturally they had the vocals and they flipped it into a hook. The Nip liked it and jumped into that, you know what I'm saying? Then it morphed into just a record that it was me and him on. And it's not right now, but that's not a problem, you know what I'm saying? It's just more so tactics like that, you know what I mean? Things like that in respect of just letting somebody know what the word is.
You found out that verse was being repurposed the same time the world found out Jay-Z had a song with Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Mike and Keys might have shot it to me already finished like a couple days before just to let me know it was coming, but it was already done, the move, which I have no problem with it again. Salute to Jay, salute to everybody. You know what I mean? I love Nip. Nobody trying to take no credit or no money that's not mine. You know what I mean? All I'm trying to do is be a respectable man out here. And it's not even so much about Mike and Keys, by nobody else. It's just the politics of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
There's a lot of
right.
You know, and as a person who's sitting on multiple shoved albums himself,
okay,
right?
Salute.
Everybody, there's always a story to
yeah.
why like a certain project didn't come out. So the joint you was working on with Mike and Keys, what kept that from seeing the light of day at the time?
That was just a capital thing. They was doing half the album. Organized was doing the other half of the album. If it was up to me, you know what I mean, Dre was going to mix a couple of them. I think Guru was putting the mix on Mama Proud. So I had all the hands and the cooks there. But to keep it 1,000, I think Universal bought Capitol, and then the regime changed. All the things that I studied the game for and expected. I never had a problem with it. To me, just keeping it 1,000, you can't really break my spirit. You know what I mean? I always looked at the greats. Jay-Z himself, you know what I mean, not getting signed or had to start his own label. Him doing the Puffy thing on the first album. You know what I mean? Everybody, whether it's not getting signed or trying to figure it out, I don't really look at no man as better than the other man. Every winner was at once a so-called failure. Every saint was at once a so-called sinner. You know what I mean? So you can't really break my spirit. I just stepped away personally and purposefully. You know what I mean? And to me, it was one of the hardest things I had to do. All I did was prepare for this. You know what I'm saying? But I had a song with Jeremiah before it even got to bubbling, before he got back on his jump. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he had the birthday sex, and then he took a hiatus too. But when he came back, he was on Khaled and everybody's shit. And I had kind of, hope I could say that, you know, be good. And I just like, I had a song with Jeremiah, but he was like, yeah, that's not just yet, Tito. You know, we put 2 albums out. This is what they're telling me. You know what I mean? This is what so-called people, I mean, certain people are telling me behind the scenes. So forget the ghosts games and the rumors. I'm just telling you what I know. And it's like, nah, we like the other song you got, bussin' with gunshots in it. You know what I mean? We got another song that you like called called God Against Me. That's what I wrote. And I was like, did I feel bad about the song? Because I'm a God-fearing man, but I wrote it just at the time that things wasn't going right. You know, I let my mom hear it and all that. She like, nah, it's all good. You don't sound too bad. But that's the one they liked. And it just happened to be interesting to me as far as tastes go. That, you know, I got one that's just a female record that might blow us up right now. I'm your artist, you know what I mean? But you rather me put out some gun busting shit, or you rather me put out some, you know, some other shit. So I just kind of peeped them tactics and I just fell back. And then to keep it 1,000, I'm hip hop. I like to speak freely. So I step back because I don't know how to block what I'm going to say. I love this. I'm going to speak from the heart the same way with the Dre thing. Certain things you say and then everybody wants to shut you down. When I'm not dissing Dre, nobody. I love Dre, but it's a Hollywood atmosphere out here the higher you go. You can't get too much higher than Dre. So I was in the studio writing shit then and cats try to kind of push me out. Who's this Mississippi dude in here that Dre's feeling? You know what I mean? And he likes his bars. So just that type of atmosphere. You know what I mean? I'm bad for rambling.
No. I mean, you giving people a lot of game who don't understand. Like,
I have
you know,
to.
The higher you get in the building, the more things you're gonna deal with. The altitude is different. The levels and the devils are different.
The levels and the devils. Speak on it, my brother.
And even talking about the Dre scenario, I mean, like, you know, because most people could never fathom that somebody from Gulfport, Mississippi, could find himself amongst the elite.
Yes, sir.
You know, working with who people consider one of the best producers in the game.
Yes, sir.
And what was the song he heard of yours that like really blew his mind? It was like, yo, he could stay.
Yeah, I told him first when I met him that I'm from GPT, you from CPT, you know what I mean? So we clicked on that. But I can't even lie, man. It might have been something off the Hunger Games at the time. What I loved was that what you saw was me spitting. And I can't remember if it was vice versa, but he was like, you got to sound good on both. You know what I'm saying? So I came in spitting. That's dope. Let's see how you sound sonically. And he liked that. And I think it was something off the Hunger Games or something I had at the time. It might have even been freestyles, man. Like, I can't lie. Like 2-track joints I had on other people's joints. I might have jumped on a Dre beat. But he just heard that sonically and was like, okay, you can do it. And I'm down to work if you down. And I think at that day when I met him, I said, I got to get back to work, man. Like, I want to be here, but I ain't got no money coming here from this. It's just a hope and a dream. And it might sound stupid to everybody else, but I told him, like, I got to be back to work tomorrow. And Dre, to his credit and salute, respected him. So I respected all day. You know what I mean? So even with Mike and Keys with the Nipsey joint, they hit me and let me know, like, just even with Jay, it's just politics. The bigger it goes up. And those are the type of things that don't really interest me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but I love your transparency.
Yes, sir.
You know
that's
what I mean?
how I gotta
like,
be.
Not only in interviews, but also on records, because like some people do not have the humbleness or the humility to admit that, like, yeah, I rap and you know me for rapping. However, I got to jump on a plane, get back Saturday. Or I can't even afford to stay here more than 4 days because, like, yo, getting a hotel in Atlanta is different than getting a hotel in New York or LA or just finding a place to, hold it down into point A and point B. So you stepped away with your integrity and your soul intact.
I appreciate that.
And, you went from you started as an indie, selling like CDs hand to hand like most people did. Ended up major. Now you back indie again.
Yes, sir.
What understanding do you have now, having seen how the hot dogs is made? Going back into your approach now.
Factory.
I'm even starting to see your classic projects pop up on streamers now. Because I was confused, because I was looking at the release date order. It's like, wait, well, no, that's the old joint.
That's the old joint, but it says 2022.
But no doubt. That means my man got his masters back or something. You know what I mean?
Speaking
so that's
on that,
good.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I just started dropping them joints just to whet up people's appetites, the things we talked about. I got the whole Organized Noise produced joint coming right now, getting mixed and mastered. They really dope joints, so we got to master them the right way and mix them the right way because they pretty loud, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rico Wade, you know what I'm saying? I got the 5 Fingers of Death. But we was always just had an independent mind state. If you saw when we was on Capitol, they gave us kind of a shoestring budget, and we shot 2 videos in Mississippi, in Gulfport. The first one, they didn't even want me to do it. Like, let's just shoot it here. We ain't got to send everybody down to some town we ain't never heard of out of the way. No, sir. You know what I'm saying? You signed me, so we gonna go shoot it in the hood. And then we came back and shot. That was Mama Proud. And that one hit the Billboard, you know what I mean? Top 100, you know what I mean? Shout out to Mike Shinoda, Linkin Park. He liked that joint. He said I sound like Raz, Kaz, and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started getting all these accolades that God showed me in my soul, yeah, you're good enough. You know what I mean? I always looked at this as a league. The only reason I have respect for it is because when I was coming up, I looked at this like basketball. You can't just every summer say, well, what you gonna do this summer? I might join the Army. I might work at McDonald's. I might join the NBA. Might join the NFL. Nah, some of them things are not even options without a certain level of skill. And that's how I used to look at this. It can be done if you want to shoot 1,000 free throws a day. And I was coming into the last tail of that needed talent to do something. And I'm not hating on no man, but it was like, you're not gonna chump me off or change up my soul when I have talent. Just find a place for me to work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to do that, but. My bad. I rambled again on the question.
It's all game, brother. Yeah. And even when you talk about your talents, what you have, and once again, when people look on the map and they think about sounds that come out of certain areas, and I've lived in some different places. I'm originally from New York, but I also lived in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
And I lived in Dallas and rhymed with people from Dallas who didn't rap like how you think people from Dallas would rap.
Yes, sir.
So, you think about people like yourself. You think about people like Big Crit.
Yes, sir.
You think about people like David Banner.
My brother.
None of these people rap how stereotypically you would assume people from Mississippi would rap because there's a stigma on the South that people aren't intelligent.
No doubt.
Or, or everything is one way.
No doubt.
So you guys were really waving the flag for stellar level lyricism from that era. Who were y'all, I guess, influences and maybe even people that you looked up to locally, or maybe even people that you had to compete against locally to get that edge, because you don't get that good by not having some sharp ass steel to bang yours against.
No doubt. Well, first of all, salute to DOC when you was talking about Dallas, because I met him too working around them Dre sessions. I got to be thankful for that. I met a lot of people out of that Dre tree, you know what I mean, and still fuck with Dre, but the South, as far as locally, we was the GPT boys. It was from Gulfport we coming from, you know what I mean? That was me and my clique, and I feel like they was the 2 hardest ones we had, me and my brother, so I got to shout them out. There was a rapper named J-Mac who turned up, you know what I mean, the city before we even thought about it. You know what I'm saying? He had songs with David Banner, Kingpins of the South. These were just joints, and I know he gonna be turned up. I shouted him out because he deserves it. You know what I mean? All these people were full of talent in Mississippi. Cadillac Don and J Money. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Cadillac Don. He just died. But they had the inside peanut butter or outside jelly. You know what I mean? Like, that was their joint.
I didn't know he passed,
he just passed like 2 days ago. And speaking of that, salute. But my influences, just to kind of answer the question again, was kind of everybody. I was a Cash Money head and No Limit fan because we're so close to New Orleans. I was a Dungeon Family fan bigger than a fan, and why I rock with them now is because of the message they had, plus they was funky, plus when 3000 went up there, he could have said the SIP, and he could have said Atlanta got something to say. He said the South got something to say.
Yeah.
The South, he included us. And when I went to Dre, I was like, the SIP got something to say. It's still the South, but now they know every damn other part except us, and maybe Alabama. And shout out to Rich Boy, he did his thing. So I just felt like I had influences from everywhere. Locally, shout out to J-Mac, the Quarter Boys, rest in peace to Ballistic, all type of people. But I was a man who respected the Wu. I was a man who respected DJ Quick and all of Dr. Dre shit and all of the Snoop Dogg shit. I was a man who knew that the Dungeon family had the message. My cousin Keith Morin, salute to him, Rabbit, he used to sell dope and have me in the car junior high years bagging up and telling me what shit to listen to. So this is 98 through 2000. And that was the year I found my soul, 98. You talking about Lauryn Hill. You talking about both DMXs. You talking about Jay-Z Volume 2. You talking about Outkast Aquemini, my favorite album ever. Goody Mob Still Standing. You talking about Black Star, High Tech. You know what I mean? That's Flex the Turtle, excuse me. Most Def and Talib. You talking about, a million other joints. You know what I mean? 98.
But Tito Lopez, bro, like the thing is, the fact that even though you're in the South, you absorbed it all.
Yes, sir. I had to.
Some people are so close-minded. They be like, well, this is where I live, and it's all I'm going to listen to.
I couldn't do it.
You got to expand your worldview, and it seems like it's really paid off well for you,
I appreciate you. And that was always the plan. Even my manager used to tell me, you kind of sticking to everything and good and quality-wise, but you want to pick something. You know, the music industry, as far as you asked me before, what have I learned from my first way around? It's about branding. It's about selling. And I didn't really have that down pat as far as when I came out, because it was kind of intentional and kind of not. I'm also just a fresh artist, but I also don't want to just pick one sound, because what if I can work better on this sound? What if I can work better on this sound? So speaking of that, like we working on a joint with John Connor, just as an example, me and him working on the album, producers sending me joints. They know already, because of what I did before, I don't know what to send you, Lo. So I'm going to send you trap. I'm going to send you drill. I'm going to send you boom bap. I'm going to send you soul. And I'm going to send you everything, because I think you can. Yeah, it's a good problem to have to me. You know what I mean? So, but for some business people, they was like, it's a bad problem to have. We have to pick a lane and sell. We can't sell a Swiss Army knife. And I was trying to be a Swiss Army knife and still am. And I think it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? As long as somebody can understand it. But once you get to a certain level, what are we actually packaging and selling? What's your vibe? And I can feel it, because we grew up watching the greats. They have vibes, but maybe to my detriment or to my good fortune, I didn't pick a vibe. I'm with all the vibes. I am the culture, hip hop. We is this. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, but the crazy thing is, like, I mean, I don't have the sales data to back this up, but I feel like a lot of Swiss Army knives get sold.
Yeah,
and even when you look at where
go.
music is at right now,
No
where
doubt.
like a lot of artists who are successful, think about how people used to categorize albums in record stores. Where do you 100% put Drake all of the time?
Exactly.
Where does a little Uzi Vert
Yeah.
they Swiss Army knives
Speak
vocally
on it.
to where
Speak
like
on
they
it.
kind of all
You know
over
what
the
I'm
place.
saying? Speak
So
on it.
I think a lot of times there are people in high positions that make decisions for artistic people who are not artistic themselves.
Yes, sir.
And they don't really truly know
Right. How to
everything
put a
they think they know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
yo, it's cool to be a Swiss Army knife, because like you're gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that can opener.
Exactly. You're gonna need
that
everything.
flat knife, and you're gonna need something if you got to
Yeah.
jig somebody.
No
So you gotta
doubt.
have
Come
it
on,
all.
man. Speak on it.
So organized noise.
Yes, sir.
Hella underrated.
Yes, sir.
And I think the underratedness of you, also with the creativity and the underratedness
Yeah,
of them,
no
I
doubt.
think it's a great marriage.
No doubt.
Who reached out to who first initially? Like, because I know y'all did stuff
Yeah,
before, but who reached out to who first?
I'll tell you what really happened. The first branch I ever got from DF, Dungeon Family, was Big Rube. Shout out to him. His album's finna come out, Rise Up, Be Extraordinary,
Nice.
RUBE, the greatest, the scholar. He reached out before I even met him and gave us a skit. So this is when we was underground. So I already knew he was thorough. They were good people. Then step 2, I get the deal. They asked me who I want to work with. I got to go to the Dungeon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, that is the Dr. Dre camp of the South to me. I
So
flirted
that's
with
capital
Yes,
cutting the
sir.
check
Yes,
for the
sir.
initial. Okay.
Yes, sir. And that's me knowing like who you want to work with, who's gonna do your albums. So that's why they did half my first album that never came out. We still got joints in the tuck. That's why they produced the blues. You know what I mean? Right after Mama Proud, Mike and Keys did that one. If you look back at my Capitol singles, the blues was it. It was funky and it was fresh out the frying pan, and we made that shit. And from then, Rico Wade told me that day, "You one of us. You can rep us and tat it. I like your whole style. You vibe with us. And to be honest, we kept in contact this whole 10 years I've been gone. They're my brothers. That's who I just left this house right now.
Dope.
That's who the album we're working with. And Organized Noise is a three-headed monster. You got Reek, Ray, and Sleep. And every single one of them just happened to jump on a passion project. You know, Ray was working on something with Neil called Neil and Ray. Neil, that's my dog. He plays guitar. You got Sleep working on something with his nephews and call it Ankh. He's the Ankh, you know what I mean? But spell it like Ankh, you know what I'm saying? So we worked on that. And then you got Rico and Tito, the two Spanish name dudes who over here. So most of my joints start off with Rico's bass. You know, Organized or any production crews, one dude starts it, somebody adds something. But the majority of my project is Rico beats, you know what I mean? And so we got Excellent out right now. Go look at that. That's not a song. I started that because that's a mantra. I started with that one. There's a book coming that I'm writing right now, finishing, called How to Be Excellent. Look for that ASAP on Amazon. There's a children's book called Mr. Excellent about a superhero, 4 little black boys, little brown boys. Look for that.
And is it under your rap name? Because I'm looking at
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be under my rap name, Tito Lopez. And even before that, I'm kind of transitioning after a while to drop the Lopez because that's my real middle name. So when I came out, I didn't care. Remember, I was in a group. So my name, I never thought of it as being the best, craziest name ever. You know what I mean? King Asiatic, nobody equal. I was just like a person in the group. Tito, Nico, the sincere. But that's why I was like, it's so Spanish. How can we, you know, nobody knew how to market it. And I just never cared. I'm a Lupe Fiasco fan, an Eminem fan. A lot of these names could have been tragedies if dudes couldn't rap. You know what I mean? So I like to put all the odds against me, like Pac say. I like stack odds.
It make you tougher, man.
Man, it makes you tougher, my brother.
So
you know
if we was to put dates on these upcoming things that we could look out for,
absolutely.
What's the first thing?
Excellent is out right now. Go stream that. GP is coming in the next week. Go stream that. The videos for both are coming in the next month. Go stream that. The top of the year, everything will be dropped. You know what I'm saying? So we shooting them at the end of the year right now because everybody is on the family time. So top of the year, look for everything. So look for in January, look for 5 Fingers of Death.
Okay.
The company 5 Fingers of Death. I just did an album with them.
They sent you the jacket yet?
Yes, sir. Yes,
yo,
sir.
I was waiting for it to get closer to pull the jacket up.
Salute.
Yo, shout out to the Lex and the whole crew over there.
Shout out to Lex. Shout out to Divum. Shout out to Design. Shout out to Slago, man. My brothers. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Top
you know
5.
my man Slago?
Yeah. All of them, man. Yes, sir.
Slago did a record for me on Action Park called Machine Gun Rap. And he also, he got a joint I did with Dot X too. Like,
I heard Machine Gun Rap.
So underrated.
Yeah, I heard
man.
Machine Gun Rap for all my niggas in the back. Was he sampling the Raekwon?
Yeah, we took the Raekwon joint,
Man, I just got to say on a side note, January, 5 Fingers of Death. January, all the Organized Noise. Me and John Connor is working on an album next week, so that might come in January too. I've been gone so long that I don't really intend to play with him this year. It's my second favorite number after 22 is 23, Jordan. I plan on dropping a few projects every month. Why not? You know what I mean?
How you feel about the acting space?
I'm very much into it. I mean, if you want me to keep it trill, like you like being transparent, I need a gig ASAP, crack. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in Atlanta. Let's do it.
I'm throwing this out there to the universe because, like, you know, I used to, like, you know, bang the drum and be like, hey, listen, man, if they ever do a Rocky movie where, like, they needed a young Clubber Lang, I used to think it was me.
Mr. T.
Then you walked in.
I
you
do
look more
it.
like Mr.
Okay.
Yeah,
Salute,
bro.
my brother. I appreciate that.
We don't need to show up to the audition at the same time.
Salute. You know anybody down with it? You know Michael B. Jordan? Anybody? Holla at him. You know what I'm saying?
I think Creed 3 is already in the can, but if they do a 4.
Yeah, and it looks incredible. Creed 3 looks incredible. Salute.
Even if it's on the soundtrack. I'm just saying. You know what
Salute.
I mean?
Hey, I appreciate you plugging that. Shout out to David Banner, too, doing the acting space. He called me while I was in that Hollywood vibe and let me know you can work over here. You can keep it raw. You can keep it gritty. And just to, you know what I mean? I know we getting ready to get out of here. I have to salute you, Headkrack, my brother. You are one of the top lyricists, MCs, songwriters, all that for your own art. Sometimes I have to let you know that, my brother, because I never had a problem letting anybody know. You are inspiring to me, my brother. I watch everything about this culture. You know what I mean? It was on purpose that we became encyclopedias for this. And I'm watching TV One at the house and watching the decades or the 80s and the 90s and everything. And the first person they show is Headkrack, talking about Crisscross. God bless me to where Crisscross, Kid and Play, even the gangster shit, I was the right age for everything. So while other niggas was hating on Crisscross and Kid and Play and all that is corny, I was 5. Yeah. So I was the audience, it was 4. They still sold 10 million records, homie. You know what I mean? The gangster shit. My mom was playing all that. You can listen to it all, just don't say it. It's like I was blessed. I'm gonna just wrap it up with that, to not be a hater. And everybody need to adopt that. Some people can't. If you was 20 when Crisscross came out, you're not gonna give them their props. Me, God put me in every space. God let me talk to Michael Jordan, who I know is an asshole, but he was cool to me. He was cool to me. Everybody saying he was. He talked to me. So those are the things that you got to connect with the Most High and realize your blessings. And he blessed me to where I have an appreciation and a love and respect for everybody in this culture, old, new, young, whatever, and want it not to die. And it's already on life support. So what y'all gonna do?
Yo. That's Tito Lopez right there.
Salute.
He was born in a sweet spot.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? He was able to absorb it all,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Be on the lookout for those new projects. They start rolling out in January.
Yes, sir.
And catch up on the classic
yes,
catalog,
sir.
man.
It's
Whether
all
you
on
talking
there.
You
Hunger Game. I got one called Emmett Till that I dropped while I was off the radar. It's because of that. They dropped that new Emmett Till movie, not to ramble again, but the movie, that's cool. But we need to really tell the story. And I'm just not even really getting into it. It's just more dope, gritty country South music, country rap tunes. Rest in peace, Pimp C.
No doubt. It takes 2 seconds for you to pull out your phone.
Yes,
and hit
sir.
Heart, Save, Plus,
yes,
whatever
sir.
TITO. Support this brother right here.
GPT.
TITO Lopez.
Yeah.
Brother Lopez, if you're nasty, man. Appreciate you
yes,
pulling
sir.
up, man.
Headkrack,
My G.
brother.